Hear ye! Hear ye! The court's in session. The court's in session now. Here
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. I'm presiding judge Eric Taylor of the Los Angeles Superior Court, and it's my great honor to be here today with you and sort of with you. This isn't the typical enrobing ceremony because of the pandemic, but it makes it even more special to me that in a really troubling time like we've been through, that we have these rays of hope, rays of happiness. And the happiness today is that we get to celebrate my dear friend, and I do mean that, dear friend. This is a long time coming, Winnie Young, in her entrance onto the bench. And I'm just happy that I can be here to share this moment with you. I'm happy to be a part of this ceremony. We need to have more ceremonies like this with people like Winnie. I'm going to take the privilege of just telling you about my dear friend. Winnie was my deputy in my courtroom as a public defender for a number of years in the South Bay. And some time back, we had a conversation where she expressed interest in perhaps one day becoming a judicial officer. And I've been on the bench for 23 years now, and I have never met anyone who I thought should be on the bench more. So when she said that, it filled my heart with joy, because she is the embodiment of fairness, of intelligence, of persistence for her clients. She is a person that walks into the courtroom, and there's a law professor of mine in my first day of contracts, Stanley Henderson, who said, this is the most important thing I'm ever going to tell you. And everybody started writing it down, and he said, stop. The thing that will make you the most successful attorney is to be the voice of reason in a courtroom. Winnie Young is the embodiment of that. When she spoke, people listened. They knew she was telling the truth. They knew that she could be trusted. I knew she could be trusted. When she said something, she meant it. She spoke honestly to her clients. She was always prepared, and she was a pleasure to have around. And not to mention that when she got in front of a jury, the other side was in a lot of trouble. But fortunately, we have that talent coming to the bench now, so that when people come into the courtroom, there's the center of their attention, the center of focus is the person that they should respect the most, and that is Winnie Young. I'm really happy to be here today to give her the oath of office. Judge John Meggs, who was one of my mentors, also he's mentoring so many people, but he mentored her as well, and he'll speak later, and he'll be enrobing her today. It is a great moment. I know Winnie is going to do a terrific job for us. One thing about this job is that you have to exercise patience. And Winnie has patience. You have to be the person in the courtroom that people trust, because you are the embodiment of justice. We need more people like Winnie Young, and hopefully she'll mentor other people to come behind her and pass on that legacy that John Meggs passed on to me, that I hopefully am passing on to Winnie Young, and that she'll pass on to many generations to come. She has her sorority mask on today to represent, and I'll let her tell you more about that, but you should be proud of her, to all her sisters. So why don't we just get to business and do some swearing in? What do you think? Okay, let's come take the oath of office. For our newest judge of the Los Angeles Superior Court, I know that we had a lot of friends and people that couldn't be here with us today. I'm a dear friend of yours. I consider myself that. So I'm here with you, and it just fills my heart again with joy, and I'm representing for the people watching that you have family and you have love and friends here. So, are you ready?
I am. I'm ready.
All right. Repeat after me. I, LaWynne Yvette Young,
LaWynne Yvette Young,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance
and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
upon which I'm about to enter.
upon which I am about to enter.
Congratulations, Judge Young.
Thank you. Thank you.
Very proud of you.
Thank you.
I'd like to invite Judge John Meggs to come forward to perform the enrobing. Judge Meggs?
Thank you, Judge Taylor. It's certainly my pleasure to present the robe of office to Judge Winnie Young. And I consider myself standing in for her mother today in doing this. And what neither of them told you was that when her mother went to Judge Taylor's court to see her in action, she told Judge Taylor that her daughter was going to be a judge. Congratulations.
I remember that. She did say that.
Thank you. Thank you. Can I give you a hug? Thank you.
I want one too.
I'm going to give you one. Oh, thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Love you.
Love you more.
Before she has an opportunity to address you, I'd just like to say that it was my pleasure to have Judge Young come to my court after she left Torrance. She came to Inglewood, and she was the public defender, or one of the public defenders that was assigned to my court my last 2 years on the bench. And it was a pleasure working with her. And one of the things that I noticed that she was not only extremely talented and competent, but she really cared about her clients. And that makes such a difference, particularly, I'm speaking as a former public defender, and people that come into our court system are usually suspicious of the attorney that's appointed for them that they're not paying for. They couldn't have paid enough money to get someone as competent as Ms. Young. And I remember one client she had in particular, she told me, and this was long after he had been through my court, she asked if she could leave early one day because she had to go to Long Beach for his graduation from, I think it was a year-long drug program. And that client finished the program, ended up getting his undergraduate and graduate degrees. I think he was working on a cruise line and entertainment, but it was all because she cared about him. She worked hard to convince me that he should have another opportunity to turn his life around, and he didn't disappoint either one of us. So, Winnie, congratulations. I'm glad you finally filled that application out and submitted it to the governor. It's the court that's going to benefit and the people of the county of Los Angeles. And at this time, you can address your friends.
So, I want to thank you all for trying to stream in. I'm so sorry that the internet failed, but hopefully you'll get this recording and you'll be able to see the ceremony. So thank you for all of the effort for coming, and I really, really appreciate it. In this age of COVID, unfortunately, we could only have 5 people, and that's the 5 people that are actually necessary for this ceremony. So no family or friends are here other than the friends that did speak. And so, but thank you for coming. I really, really appreciate it. I want to thank God because, but for his mercy, I would not be here. I am truly blessed and honored, and such an opportunity as this doesn't come around very often, especially not in the Los Angeles courts. It's very, very difficult to be appointed to be a judge, and so I know that this is divine intervention. I also want to thank Governor Gavin Newsom for appointing me on the bench. I want to thank JSAC, Jenny, LA County Bar Association, all of the individuals that really helped to advocate for me to get me here. I also want to thank my parents. I want to thank Barbara and John. And my mom, unfortunately, is not here, but maybe not physically, but hopefully spiritually, and somewhere she's flying around here, and she's happy to see this occasion. So I also want to thank my family. I have a funny story to tell. My brother, John, I told him that I got appointed to be a judge, and he started hollering and crying, and I was like, wow, he's really happy for me. And then it just went on a little bit too long. And so then he said, so you gonna move to DC? And I said, well, why would I move to DC? He said, because you're gonna be working with Judge Sotomayor. I said, that's the United States Supreme Court. I'm not appointed to the United States Supreme Court, the Los Angeles County Superior Court. He said, oh, all right. Well, I'm still happy for you. Anybody who knows my brother, he is a character. So that's so funny. That was so funny to me. Thank my stepsisters, Belinda and Trish, and thank all of my family, like my aunts. I got to name two aunts in particular. My Aunt Linda, from about the past 15 years, has been saying, Winnie, you should be a judge. You could be on one of those shows. They're going to put you on one of those shows. You'd be good. And I was like, what are you talking about? And she just kept saying it. Every time we talked, she said, you should be a judge. You should get your own show. And I just thought she was a little I said, okay, I think she's watching too much TV. But she was serious, and she kept saying that I should be a judge. And my other Aunt Marjorie, when I told her that I was thinking about being a judge and I should apply, every time we talked, did you fill out the paperwork? Did you fill out the paperwork? And it just got to be to a point where I just said, you know what, let me not call her because I haven't filled out the paperwork and I don't want to hear it. But those two family members just kept pushing and pushing and pushing for me to be a judge. And so I am so thankful for your encouragement and faith in me, aunties. Thank you. I want to thank my cousins, my uncles, my nieces, nephews, just thank all of my family. I really do have an amazing, amazing family. So just thank you for your love and your support. And I am just forever grateful. Now, I got to thank some experiences. I got to thank Howard University. That's the Mecca. And that helped me to become partially the woman that I am today. Because in addition to that, as Judge Taylor so eloquently said, I was wearing my sorority face mask, Delta Sigma Theta, Sorority Incorporated. I want to thank Alpha Chapter for making me. I want to also thank the Los Angeles Alumni Chapter, the Social Action Committee. In particular, when I think about Delta, I really have to thank my line sisters, and those are the 31 women that I pledged with back in 1988. We're very close to this day, and they have been so supportive and encouraging. As a matter of fact, this robe that I'm wearing, they got it for me. And I was in trouble because about 2 days before this ceremony, I didn't have a robe. And I was thinking about getting a black sheet and figuring something out. I was going to ask Judge Taylor or Judge Miggs, can you help me out? Because I didn't have a robe. And I got a box, and I said, what is this? And I opened it, and I couldn't believe it, that they had the foresight and the thoughtfulness to get me this robe. So Line Sisters, thank you so, so very much. Thank you. Got to give a shout out to Loyola New Orleans. I really had a great experience there. I've got to thank my friends. I have the best friends, hands down. And I'm also including you two. I could not want for any more support, any more encouragement, any more love I'm just enveloped in all of it with my friends. And I thank you for the years of just being by my side, having my back. And I really, really, really just wanted to thank you. I also wanted to thank everybody that I've had the fortunate 23-year career of working with. And that goes for judges. And that goes for commissioners, court staff, interpreters, everybody that I've had an opportunity to work with. I am just grateful for the experience and for helping to make me the lawyer that I am and that I have been for the past 23 years. I really need to thank my public defender family. They say that best friends are forged on the battleground, and I could not have had better battleground fighters than the Public Defender's Office. My colleagues have had my back for the past 23 years. They've been loyal, they've been true, they've been helpful, they've been encouraging, they've been inspiring. And I just will never forget all of the experiences that I had at the office and with you. And I will carry them always. And as I said to you before, you are my family. So thank you so much, Public Defender's Office. Ricardo Garcia, the leader of the Public Defender's Office, thank you for the opportunity to serve indigent and underrepresented clients. And it has really been an honor. It really has been. Now, this moment is so spectacular. It is amazing. It's everything that I could have ever asked for. There's one person that I just really, really wish could be here. Now, both of my parents have come to court and they've seen me. But as Judge Mix talked about, there was one day when my mom, she said, Winnie, I'm going to go to court with you. And I said, okay, okay, fine. I don't know why my parents want to go to court with me, but they say, oh, I want to see you in action. So my dad has come a couple times. My mom came a couple times. This last time was about 2010. And so she got a suit. She was all dressed up and she's like, I'm going to court with you. I'm like, oh, gosh, okay, fine. We get into court and I was a public defender in Judge Taylor's court. And I want to say this. It was really, really important for me to have both Judge Taylor and Judge Miggs here at this ceremony because I admire them, I respect them, and I can't even describe that if I could be even a fourth of the judges that they are, how amazing I would be, and that's only a fourth. So I started out, I was in Judge Taylor's courtroom. I sat in the audience with my mom, and my mom was just sitting there, just smiling. I wasn't really doing anything. And then Judge Taylor said, Winnie, is that your mom? I said, yeah. So he said, come on back to my chambers. So we were walking back in the hallway, and before we could even get in Judge Taylor's chambers, my mom said, my daughter's already a lawyer. She's going to be a judge. And I looked at her and I was like, Mom, be quiet. Like, what are you talking about? Don't you tell him anything like that. I mentioned it, that I may have wanted to be a judge, but I had never done anything affirmative in that regard. And I hadn't spoken to anybody about it, much less Judge Taylor. And my mom said it with such conviction, I couldn't believe it. And I don't know why she said it, but that's what she said and she meant it. And so Judge Taylor said, okay. And later on he said, you want to be a judge or is that mama talking? And I was like, mama talking. He's like, okay. He kind of suspected it. But about a year later, my mother passed away from lung cancer. And on the morning of her service, my doorbell rang at 6 a.m. And I couldn't believe that it was ringing so early. But the first person at my door with a pie was Judge Taylor. And he bought a pecan pie and he said, Winnie, I'm not going to be able to make the service, but I just wanted you to have this. And he does not know how much that gift of generosity meant to me and how he was present when my mother said that her daughter was going to be a judge. After that time, working in Judge Taylor's court, I eventually went to Judge Mix's court, and that was in Inglewood. And I was in such a bad place, but Judge Miggs was so kind and so thoughtful and just really compassionate. And the way he treated clients, my clients, and the way he treated the lawyers, and the way he treated opposing counsel, and the way he treated witnesses, it was amazing. And I so admired him. I admired his actions in the community, and he was just such a wonderful mentor. And it was important for me to have him at least enrobe me. Judge Taylor, same thing. I learned a lot from him. And the one thing I can say about him is that he listened, he treated clients with respect, he treated parties with respect, and every decision he made, it was thoughtful. He thought about it, and he had good reasoning behind it. And both of these gentlemen have the best judicial temperament. They are kind, they are calm, they are steady. I admire them more than they could ever know, and I don't know if you know how much you mean to me. And having you both here, without my mom, she represented for her, without my family, it means everything to me. And I mean it. I want to emulate a portion of the gentleman and the jurist that you two are. And I do love you guys. Thank you for everything. You know, my mother always said, give me my flowers while I'm living. And so I think I wanted to spend enough time, or at least a decent amount of time, thanking everybody as much as I can for all that you have done for me. You do not know how impactful you have been to my life, impactful you have been in my life. I am so humbled by all of the support, the encouragement, flowers, gifts, phone calls, text messages. I did not get here by myself. I got here because of all of you, all of you. And I am so eternally grateful, eternally grateful. I love you all. Thank you for tuning in. And you truly have left an indelible mark in my heart. So, Mom, your daughter is a judge. Thank you for coming.
All right.